Afternoon, people. Afternoon. Hope we are all well in the chat. Hope each and every one of you and your families are very blessed today. And again, welcome back to FFTV with me. And today we're just going to go quickly over the game that is coming up tomorrow night. And I'm not going to put you through that press conference. We'll touch on a tiny few things. I watched Curtis's earlier. I thought it was really funny, and we end up getting no answers as usual out of Arteta. But however, let's start by saying I fully appreciate each and every one of you taking the time out to come into the stream. Make sure you hit the like, and if you've not already, make sure you hit the subscribe. I have not checked the dislike count today. Have the bots caught us up? They have not caught us up today. That is for sure. So, really do appreciate that. Afternoon to each and every one who already is in the chat. Salman's already in. Brandon is in. Josh Bumba's in. Arsenal for life. Wilson, not seen you for a while, Wilson. Hope you are well. Liam is saying afternoon, Fran, and afternoon all. Big man, Fran. Big up from Josh Bumba, etc. Yeah, afternoon, each and every one of you. So quickly, let's go over this Arteta press conference. I'm not going to go into it, okay? Because it's the same every week, as Curtis and everyone else says. Bird's eye settings, absolute waffle. It's just waffle. I get confused. And I don't know whether, if you ever meet those people and when you ask them a question, they say so many different words, like it's like a different language to actually bamboozle you. So it sounds like they know what they're talking about. I think he's very good at that because I haven't got a clue sometimes what he's talking about. The question towards the end about the game, and it was going in 20-minute segments, and I had no idea what he was on about. Honestly, cap settings are back. People need to cut my ear, so let's get the cap on. Keep it the way that it is. Always like to read a couple of your comments before we get going into it. I'm very worried about Villa right now because they're a good side. We need to be real, Francis. I mean, they've not been great. Let's be honest. I think they played. Oh, I can't remember. They've not been great, but I think they should have won games. Like they should have beaten Chelsea and they didn't, and they should have probably beaten Wolves and they got a little bit lucky towards the end and they didn't. So they did the double overs last year, etc. Arteta is, I don't know if he is. It's wrong for me to say that. Brandon saying Mikel is like my boss. They say so much, but they said answer nothing. Absolute politics, nothing. The answers that he gives, honestly. But like I say, I'm just going to touch on a few questions. A couple of the questions that I got, he's speaking about Lacazette ones, and obviously when he was talking about how the game went, etc. I'm not written anything down. This is just going off memory, okay, people? So forgive me if I'm wrong and do correct me. So first of all, I think these press conferences are absolutely ridiculous, people. I've got to be honest. They are absolutely ridiculous. I also know from working in the industry that questions have to be checked before they're allowed to be asked. And personnel who ask the questions, a lot of the time, are vetted. And if they ask the wrong question or they ruffle a few feathers, they get banned from these press conferences. So you've got to remember the questions that we would ask, these people's careers are on the line, so they don't ask these questions. However, there are some clubs and some organizations, for example, when you work for Sky and you're interviewing straight after the game, or TV channels or floor managers, etc., you can ask questions because they're not vetted first. These questions are not vetted first. But press conferences, they are. So if you've seen Arteta yesterday, Ollie yesterday, he got a few questions thrown at him and he was saying, listen, that's pathetic, etc., etc. So after games, a lot of them are not vetted, but the questions in press conferences are vetted. I strongly believe, and I put it in Curtis's chat, that these questions are fully wiped out if there's anything controversial, all right? And the hierarchy are protecting this manager because they need him to stay in place for this to work, to save them money. And I think it's all manufactured. I talk about manufactured boxers, how their route to the to be best heavyweights or champions of the world is manufactured, some of them. This manager, I believe, I could be looking into it too much, but having worked in football for so long and behind the scenes, I believe everything is being manufactured for him to not put his head on the line, always political, never a right, never a yes, never a no. And everyone's just keeping everyone on the fence to keep everyone else in a job. I think that is truly being happening. So that's my take on what I think these press conferences are, and that's why I don't really pay a lot of attention. I did do one. I just thought that absolutely waste time. They're ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. 5 times he was asked about Lacazette. 5 times, okay? And then towards the end, he basically said what we wanted to find at the beginning. He also said that most clubs are in the same, have these situations with their players. No one has a situation. Not many players have a situation. Clubs have situations with players like Lacazette being brought for 50 million, being sold for. I know Man United had with Pogba, blah, 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 blah. I get all that. I get all that. However, not many clubs do. So he didn't want to answer that question. Lacazette, I think he's not going to be here at the end of the season. Do I think he should be playing Saturday? Yes, I do, and we will get into that. But he wouldn't answer any questions, which he's not going to, in these press conferences. And just like I was saying, Boy Tendia, you probably came in a little bit late. I believe that these are structured, because being working in the industry and being in rooms and etc. know how it works. These questions are vetted. They're manufactured, they're structured to not put Mikel in anything, to say anything that he shouldn't really say. And then his answers are so political, goes around the roundabouts, gives us all these nonsense words, when actually absolute BS when it comes to a game of football. Really, really does. And I strongly believe, and I'm not saying I'm right, there's a lot of people out there that are buying into Arteta and this nonsense. And they're getting blinded by this talk. They're getting blinded by this nonsense. If you understand sports as a whole, competitive contact sports as a whole, you know that this nonsense that he's talking is an absolute cover-up and political and to bamboozle people. It's straight facts when it comes to football and sports. The results are right in front of your eyes. You don't really need to be thinking about this and thinking about that. And I've been seeing a lot of people who are not happy that certain Arsenal fans are not happy with Arteta, and they can see this and that. They're the ones, I believe, who have never played sports, do not understand the elements and the foundations and the hunger and the mentality to be in sports. So they're believing this PhD nonsense behind the desk talk. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. And people need to wake up big time. If you are one of them, wake up big time. Just put it on earbase. It's all right. Sorry. Wife always cooks when I'm on, so it's like kind of dinner, lunchtime. So thank you. Social. Teletext settings. Bamboozled. I absolutely bamboozled. Buenos Aires is saying, hola, Fran. I'm a little late. Hope all is well, brother. No problem. Glad that you are here. That's the main thing. It's a joke. Darren is saying, smash the like button, peeps. Let's smash the like, people. Let's get rid of those hating bots. What are we eating today? I've not ate on here for a while. This is like a pesto pea pasta. So I will eat it a little bit later. It's even nice when it's not red hot as well. So we can't moan about that one. Big up yourself, King. Hope you are well. Big up Buenos Aires, obviously Endon Guna, etc. Jameson is in the chat and he's saying, I was also blinded when we won Spurs. I thought the process is working. No, honestly, love the pesto. Yeah, decent pesto. So people, so what was I saying? So I think people are truly being, and you know what? It's easy to get caught up in that hype. I remember the Spurs game, people going, yes, I get it. And then when people started picking the game apart and Henry, because we were so so fixed on the result, then when the result happened, you think, right a minute, we always beat Spurs. We're playing at home. Spurs were terrible. No midfield. We pressed high. It was a guaranteed win, if anything. Then when you break everything else down, and then these interviews and these people, you're getting blinded, absolutely getting blinded. So I think it's ridiculous. I think it's manufactured. It doesn't answer any questions with the Lacazette thing, etc. And it never really gives you. He's not going to tell you the team. He's not going to tell you who's injured and who's not injured. So it's also hard for us to do previews when we don't know who's injured and who's not injured. But he's not going to do that because it gives then Villa, Smith, an idea of how he's going to play, because he did the double overs last year, probably pressing down the sides, to be honest. probably pressing down the side. So Arteta, he knows that this is going to be a big test of a game. He really does. But honestly, I just cannot understand why people cannot see what's going on. Honestly, I don't get it. And I only put it down to, and I don't, you know what? You know me, I don't want it to come across, because people who watch this will say, well, he's an ex-footballer and he thinks he knows it all. You know, as a community, I don't come across like that. I don't want to come across like that. I want to have a balanced argument, because yes, you do know a lot about the sports if you've played it for a very long time at a professional level, but you don't know everything. Managers can show you that. When an ex-pro becomes a manager and he's useless, that's proof that footballers don't know everything. And I don't want to come across that way. But I can only think and can only put two and two together that if you believe in this scientific PhD degree talk when it comes to a simple game of football, then you don't understand football. And everyone's entitled to the way that they think. Of course, we have to respect that. Of course, no one's right, no one's wrong, because people think they're right and people think they're wrong. If you're not saying, there's no, I always say, convince a man against his will and you've already lost the argument. But surely people can start to see through the nonsense and the wording of what he's trying to do. He's trying to just not answer questions and maneuver his way around. And if things go right, things go right. And if they don't, they don't. It's a process, etc. It's youth. People are getting blinded by what is happening. Blinded by what is happening. I get all the youth project and all this stuff. I get all that. But performance-wise, it's just not. And leading on to that, people, great comments, by the way. Leading on to that, he was asked about the game. Now, listen, I don't know whether I'm going crazy. I don't know whether maybe I was terrible at football. I just don't know. And I never understood the game. But he said that we were in control of that game. And then I've heard a lot of people saying, Arteta, I imagine Arteta fans, we should have won the game because we dominated the game. I don't want you to agree with me, people, just because I'm saying that. But please, if anyone thinks that we dominated that game and should have won, please say in the comments, because I would love to know why and what you saw that I didn't see. Because all I seen was a press for 10 minutes, 12 minutes. That's all I seen. That's all I seen. And then there's little, and then towards the end of the game, obviously, I thought second half we had a lot more ball, but Palace was so much more comfortable than us. I cannot get, honestly, please, someone help me. If anyone notices that. Boytown, it's because our club have a PR down to science. They know exactly what results and clips do to push. They know exactly how to make Arteta look knowledgeable, impress. It's all theatre to me. I couldn't have worded it any better. I really could not have worded it any better. I do not get what people are seeing. Liam is saying, Emery got us through most of the FA Cup that we started fresh with Arteta. He threw away the FA Cup against Southampton to beat Southampton in the league. Yeah, very true. Harry Haran has put, will Arteta perform better with a Man U squad? What do you think, Fran? Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. I mean, Ollie's doing the best that he can with this squad. And there was an interesting thing what you say about Ollie. I think after the game last night, I can't remember, it was in the chat. I don't know if I can't remember it was, and was saying, why didn't the players do what they did second half? And has Ollie changed anything? And if you ask him, I bet he wouldn't have changed anything. All what happened was the first half, Atalanta were making it hard, and the United players didn't do what they were asked to do. Second half, they did what they were asked to do, which meant Atalanta had to go on the back foot, and they won. And people had said pictures of Ronaldo and literally that. No, people are getting it wrong. They're looking directly at because Ronaldo scored. The team just did what Ollie asked them to do. So it's Ollie who won that game, not Ronaldo. It's Ollie that won that game. And the reason they didn't do it first half is because either they couldn't be bothered or Atalanta weren't allowing them to do it. That's why you get the cliche of it's a game of two halves. There's no way that Arteta would get that man. I mean, they were looking at Arteta and thinking, "What are you talking about?" Instead of listen, this is why I think the players are confused. By the way, if I'm getting the ball on the back foot, this is language. This is football language. I'm getting the ball on the back foot. Before I get the ball on the back foot, I'm looking over my right shoulder or my left shoulder to see where I am on the pitch. But if I'm in midfield, I'm looking to go right round the corner with the outside of my right foot or my left foot, and then I'm looking to get it on the other side of the defender. You understand that vocab, yeah? I strongly believe that Arteta would say, I'm going to get it on the inside of my back foot in the sphere of the area of the back four, just in between the back four and the final third of the sphere. I'm then going to look 90 degrees to my angle to see if there is a face in front of me. I'm then going to wrap it around the corner to then get it back on the opposite side of the central defender. But then if he's 4 yards closer to me, I might get it on that side. Then I'm going to put it out wide to get it back to go right around the corner. Foreign language. Foreign language. I just strongly believe that's how he talks to these players, and they ain't got a clue. They haven't got a clue, people. They have not got a clue. Basically, first half, Ollie asked us to defend, which we can't do. In the second half, he asked us to attack, which we can do. I don't believe that for 1 minute. I really don't. I believe the players did not do the work. Paul Scholes was talking about it. The game plan would have been the same as it. The game plan would have been the same from the beginning. You're at home, press. That's what it would have been. I strongly believe that. Ollie would not have said, sit back in the first half at home against Atalanta. I do not believe that for 1 minute. He would have said press. Atalanta pressed. Atalanta were to the ball quicker. They made it hard for United to press, and then you couldn't switch it on. You have to do it from the first minute. Can't switch it on or off. Second half, backs against the wall. We best start doing it now. Atalanta eased off, trying to control the game. United get into the game, win the game. That's how momentum works in football. There's no way Ollie would have said, first half, sit off, second half, press. No chance. No chance. I've never come across one manager ever who has ever said that at home. Never. So I don't think now Ollie would be the only person to ever say that. So, and that's why you can't say it's Ronaldo. It's Ollie that won United that game. Because when they lose, it's Ollie. So when they win, it's Ollie. That's how you should be. And I'm the same with Arteta and Arsenal. When Arsenal win, all right, I'll give praise to Arteta. When they lose, I'll pull up Arteta. Players are just part of a puzzle that needs to be completed to win a game. You will have some genius every so often. Like it's a 0-0 and someone pulls out an absolute genius spec. Sometimes that's individual genius. Very rare. So see what else you got to say. We'll never know, Fran. It's Ollie. He hasn't got tactics. We'll never know, but I'd be very, very surprised. If I was a betting man, I would bet $1,000 that he would have never probably have said that. But like you say, we'll never know. Hindsight's a great thing. See what I mean, Ben? Look, I lost you on that elite waffle. That was elite waffle. Elite. I lost myself. Still, Fran, how does United and Arsenal have Mikel and Ollie as managers? I'm done here. Where's the ambition to win stuff? Yeah, that's down to the two owners. They're quite happy to not. I think they're quite happy to not be winning stuff. Arteta need to understand that football is practical sport and not academic sport. Too much theory and instructions and little freedom to express themselves. When you give someone too many instructions, micromanage them, it never works. It never works. In theory, though, in theory, what I'm saying in theory, yeah. I've never played for anyone that said sit back. I have played for people that have said sit back if we're playing against a lot better team, but not from the beginning of the game. Maybe later on in the game when you're managing the game, because that's how you do manage games. But it does invite pressure. Gareth Southgate does it. So Gareth Southgate, for me, sets up to invite pressure with two holding midfielders. And Man United come across as that way. So it's very hard for them to instantly press on and off. They have to do it from the beginning. So you've seen the second half, Man United. And it was just press the whole time. They couldn't do that first half because Atalanta weren't allowing them to do that because they were doing the pressing. You know, you press. It's hard for both teams only the best teams in the world both press. But you don't really see that often. You really don't. Right then, people. So let me see what else you've got to say about certain things. Jameson saying Arsenal need an experienced manager, need someone who hasn't coached any team. Yeah, I think it's ridiculous that he's in, but we know that. Mikel has not gone on a 10-game Premier League run since he took over. Appalling. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me if we don't make that one. 44 in the chat. Make sure you hit the like. Really do love the support. Fran, Stan Kroenke even said it himself that he didn't buy the club to win trophies. I mean, if people, at least they're honest. Yeah, man, Atalanta ran out of legs towards the end. Yeah, they started off really well, but they ran out of legs. Don Man has put, keep up the great work. Your work is gold. And how come we have the softest fans in the world football? If this mess was happening at every club, the fans would have ran the owners out ASAP. Definitely in another country, Don. I can tell you that. I don't see us winning tomorrow, to be honest. We can't handle pressure, especially Pepe. The Demiral injury for Atalanta changed the game. Atalanta was giving away cheap. Yeah, big. That was a big turning point. Big turning point. And I always put Arteta seems to ignore negatives and inflate even small positives, saving face or to motivate play. It's a strange one. I don't know if you've seen him when he spoke about Steve Bruce. He was like Steve Bruce was his best mate, and he had all the answers for that one. It was really funny. Chris has put, I played for a manager 1 year that loved to micromanage. It was terrible. I cannot imagine any Arsenal player is happy. They'll never be productive like this. Listen, we don't know for 100% if he's micromanaging, but the way he comes across in press conferences, I would get lost with what he's asking me to do. Malungi's put, big up Fran and everyone in the chat. Long time, but when Arsenal stop with this cycle of excuses, are they just saying we as fans accept mediocrity by forced positivity, which is point blank simple? Forced positivity is what I'm seeing a lot in the fan base. A lot. I'm sure everyone wants to win and everyone's going to be biased in the way that they think, but I'll just go down to the nitty gritty and what I see. What do I see? So, right then, people. So, Villa, it's going to be tough. They did the double overs last year. They played quite down the sides. So I hope, listen, we've got a different team now. We're going to set up probably differently. I hope that we've learned from last year, but this is going to be a big test. They're going to have the backs up because of the Wolves. They should have beat Chelsea. They end up losing 3-0. This is going to be a tough game. And I've put, we need a performance. And the reason I've not put must win, even though I believe must win, it's not a must-win game because no one's going to get the sack, and it's not going to define our season. But it is a must-win game, if you know what I mean. But it's not a must-win game technically, if you know what I mean. So I've just put performance needed. A performance is needed to see which way we are heading, because I don't think that we are going everywhere. I just think we're doing sideways all the time. That's all I can see. I don't see any progress, to be honest, at the moment. I really don't, people. So a couple of comments before we get into the team. Let's get to the team. You can never hear him during games. He gives instructions during the whole game. Still after 22 months, his players do not understand naturally what to do. It's very worrying. Hopefully Villa without Grealish are beatable by us. I think they're probably harder to beat now because they seem to have more pace. Danny Ings will love playing against us. They've got some pace. That's what worries me. I still can't believe Villa have European Cup, Champions League, and we don't have one as the Arsenal. Yeah, and listen, they've won stuff at the end of the day. Do you rate Patson Dhaka? Listen, before I can't remember. I didn't see him a lot when we were linked with him. I've got to be honest, I didn't see him a lot. But he scored 4 the other day, looked bright, and maybe Leicester is a team for him because they break. Would he have done good for us? I think he's definitely worth a gamble, but it seems, was interested in him and it just died off. So I'm not really sure. Right then, people, let's go into what I think, what I would go for. I want to know what you would go for on this game tomorrow. I really want to know what you are going to go for. Let's get this screen sharing up. Right, I've already done my back four. Okay, I've already gone for my back four. So let me just let you know before we get it up. Right, I've already done my back five, should I say? The back five for me doesn't really change, does it? I mean, we can't really change the back five. I hope you can let me know if you can see that. Do you need me to zoom in? There you go. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay. Right. So there's mine. Would anyone really disagree with that? Let me know. I'll just have a bite of this pasta. Would anyone disagree with that? Would you change anything? Would you put Tavares in? Who would you put in? Would you change? Because if Bailey plays, if he's fit, he's going to be sharp, and they're sharp down the side. That's decent, that is. Give Nuno a chance. No. Nuno Tavares. Drop Tierney. Has to be 4-2-3-1. Now, you've probably seen already, I've gone old school 4-4-2. I've scraped it back to basics. Everyone in the world knows how to play 4-4-2. It's very, very simple. Partnerships across the pitch are very, very easy to get hold of very quickly in the game. And I wouldn't overcomplicate it. That's just me. That's just me. I understand people might change different formations. We had formation the other day for me was terrible, absolutely terrible. Partey looked like he was in the middle of a nightclub wearing trainers when everyone else is wearing shoes. Honestly, I didn't know what was going on. And Ødegaard looked like he'd come to, you know, when you get to the nightclub late and it's nearly closing a taxi, Ødegaard looked like he just turned up late and they said, you're not coming in. It was shocking. I don't know what, I couldn't even tell you what we was playing half the time. Really, really couldn't. A lot of you saying, obviously, we put Maitland-Niles maybe at left back. You would put Tomiyasu can stay, but we have hide his technical deficiencies. I'm just waiting on your two in the middle. I mean, this is a big problem, the one in the middle, I can tell you that. Would you have kept Saliba, Guendouzi in? Oh, 100%. All day, Weedy. All day I would have kept that. They're the type of players that I would have in my team. Hungry, in your face, a little bit of chip on the shoulder, can come across a little bit arrogant at times, but how can I put it? But I know I'm getting a shift out of them. I know I'm getting a shift out of them. Do you know what I mean? People are going Partey and Maitland-Niles in midfield. Partey hurting them pigeons. Watch out for Leon Bailey. McGinn, Bailey and Watkins are going to be a problem. And if Traore plays as well, he's going to be a problem. Sorry, man. Right back, Partey, Maitland-Niles. Come on, Fran. You know Arteta. Listen, I know Arteta ain't doing this. Ødegaard has to be dropped for me. We'll get to Ødegaard because you know I'm an Ødegaard boy. You know that. We'll get to Ødegaard. So that's me. That's mine. Right. Centre mid. Right. Obviously, we need Partey in there, okay? We need Thomas Partey. I want to know, people, who you would play in midfield next to Thomas Partey with what we've got at the moment. Elneny's fit. That we know of. Lokonga's fit. Maitland-Niles is fit. And Ødegaard is fit. Who would you play if you was to go 4-4-2? I don't think we're going to 4-4-2, but just think about it. 4-4-2. Who would you play? Amos said he would put Ben White in midfield. I like you thinking. I would put Ben White in midfield, which means he would then probably be a Holding or a Marion at the back. But like Cambo's just said, the options are absolutely shocking. Shocking. Sambi, give him another chance. He looked solid his first 3 or 4 games. Maybe from the start. He looked poor coming on. But like I say, maybe from the start. Who would you go for? I'm going to go for, and I've got to be honest. I'm going to go for, you're going to laugh here. I'm going to go for Elneny. And I'm going to tell you why, people. I'm going to tell you why. He's got legs. I know he's going to put a tackle in. And I know he's going to work hard for me. If I'm in a 2, I know he's going to work hard for me. Lokonga, defensively, I'm a little bit concerned. Lokonga on the ball, he's not been great. Let's be honest, he's not been great. But I am going to go for these two in midfield. I think Thomas Partey would be better or is better when an El Neni or a Xhaka is next to him, rather than, I don't know if you've seen it, Erdegaard against Burnley. It was great, but wasn't amazing. ESR in there, absolute speedboat, no driver. And Lokonga was poor last game. I'm going to go with those two. Honestly, I'm going to go with those two. And you know why I'm going with those two? For me, if I'm the gaffer, this is a must-win game for me. This is a must-win game for me because it's creeping in. The negativity now is creeping in. People are starting to understand that we're getting bamboozled here with what's going on. We're getting bamboozled here. And the reason I've gone for these two in here is because I just want it to be a little bit solid. We got ran ragged so many times in midfield. Brighton, Palace, and the only reason we won against Spurs because they had no one in midfield. So many times in midfield, we've just been looked like we're lost. We're lost. So I just thought when you get experience, legs, no nonsense in there. That's why I've put them in there. Okay, so Subi have said, no, I'm not seeing El Messi. You put Erdegaard next to him. I don't think Erdegaard can play in that next to Partey. He's not that type of player. He gets overrun. He needs to be high up the pitch. We need to win the ball high up the pitch and give it him. But that's only if we went for a 4-4-2. I don't believe for 1 minute that we're going to go for a 4-4-2, to be honest. I really, really don't. Brandon is saying, I have written the season off, Fran. Wow, already. Even if we have wins, we ain't making top 4-6. Henri is right. 4-4-2 is Wenger's system. 4-4-2 is old school. Everyone knows their job, and you will get results with a 4-4-2. You will be surprised. Look at Brentford. Spurs didn't want Arteta to be sacked as they wanted to played so poorly. Really don't trust Erdegaard in midfield. No, I wouldn't put him. He's just not that type of player. Erdegaard's one of those players where he doesn't really have a main position for me. He's just a floater. And unfortunately, when you're a floater, you've got to be next level, next level. So that's what I'm going for. Now, you know that right wing and left wing. Now that I've got that two in midfield, I know that I can afford to have my 4 attackers now to get up and down and at Villa. Can get at Villa, can get the crowd on boosted. I know if Aubameyang goes, Lacazette's going to be behind him and give that one away. If Lacazette's behind him, the winger's going to be behind him, vice versa, etc., etc. And when one of my wingers goes up out of the 4, if it breaks down, El Neni or Partey shifts across. Partey shifts across. So it means the only way that they can get out is a 50-yard ball to the opposite winger or fullback. And then we shuffle across. Okay. That's very simple, basic football pattern of play. Very, very simple. So right wing. I'm going to go. This is tough for me. I'm going to see what you lot are saying first before I do. Right wing. Who we going right wing, people? A lot of you saying Nuno left, Erdegaard right. Saka hasn't trained all week. I don't think Saka's going to be fit. Fran, Pepe needs to start. I know you don't rate him, but he's the only attacker we have that could make it happen out of nothing, and we don't produce. Now, listen. Pepe is in my team. And you're going to be thinking, Ross, Fran, but Pepe is in my team. And I'm going to tell you why Pepe is in my team, right? I'm going to put Pepe because I was flipping of what side to put Pepe. I was flipping on what side. However, I know he don't run down the side, and he absolutely drives me crazy that he doesn't run down the side. But I do believe he is suited for this game. But I know we're not going to play a 4-4-2, by the way. So this is just me if we played a 4-4-2, okay? So I would play Pepe on the right. I would play him on the right, okay? I'm going to give him an opportunity He's going to be in my team. I'm going to get him to play. I'm going to say there ain't many more games left for you, son. So you need to prove to me. I'm going to give you the license. I'm going to tell Tomiyasu to make sure he's comfortable in a 1v1. Okay? I'm going to say to Pepe, try and stay as high as you can. Even in a 4. You might be thinking, what? 4-4-2, friend? Yeah. There's a method behind the madness. The reason is Villa, if we go long, Villa will clean up. Villa will try and play out. I think we've got a solid Partey and Elneny. We break it. Obviously, if Pepe's high, Saka's not going to be fit, I don't think. So if it was Saka, Saka would have to come deeper and make a free. Okay? Boom, boom. That's how it works. That's what I would do. And I would say to Pepe, stay a little bit higher. And the reason I'm saying Pepe stay a little bit higher, because on the other side, I'm putting Smith Rowe. That gives me license for Pepe to get up and down here and not too much down here, because everyone's complaining that he has to do this other work. Now, I was thinking this week, I hated coming back down here. Yeah? Hated it. Because when I got the ball around here, it was so far to get to the goal. And I used to run out of energy. And I could run. Let me tell you, I could run like you've never seen before. And it used to be frustrating when you never got the ball. So I thought to myself, if I was to play a 4-4-2, how would I do it? With Saka not playing, that's why I went this formation. With Saka not playing. Because Smith Rowe will give me the honesty and the energy to get up and down a lot more than Pepe. So I'm going to give Pepe a little bit more of a license to stay a little bit higher, to produce for me. If you don't produce, you're coming off. And Smith Rowe will be a little bit cuter and come and make this a 3 a lot more than Pepe would make it a 3. And then up top, I'm going from a 2. Top. That's my formation, people. Now, hammer me if you want. I get it. Of course, this is the beauty of these interactions. This is the beauty of these streams. And I want to know what you lot are saying. Let's have a look. Let me see what you're saying. Let's have a look. A lot of comments. Love it. Absolutely love it. Let's see what everyone's saying. Pepe, obviously, we have no one else. ESR then on the right. So I've gone ESR on my left. That's what I've gone for. So Pepe can get up and cut inside. ESR right wing. Martinelli. Yeah. Martinelli. I feel Pepe has improved defensively, but has lost his offensive side. I think that's down to the way that Arteta is asking him to play, even though I expect more from him. Pepe, second striker. Drop Abba. Can't drop Abba. He's always going to nick you a goal. No, Saka, if fit. You know what? I wouldn't even play Saka if he's fit. 70 in the chat. Unbelievable, people. I wouldn't even play Saka if he's fit. He's been woeful for me. Woeful. Martinelli left. Martinelli on the left, Gabby on. The only reason I'm not gone for a full-out attacker where ESR is because I'm going to give Pepe a little bit more of a license on that side, because everyone is gagging for him to be higher up the pitch. So I'm seeing if that would work. This, by the way, this is not going to happen. Arteta ain't thinking like I'm thinking, that's for sure. If you know what I mean. Gabby on the left. Only if Pepe is I'll have up beside Abba. Bench any other time. Okay. Martinelli on the left, surely. That's the only reason I'm not gone for Martinelli. Pepe should stay in Africa, to be fair. No one wants Pepe in the box. Play ESR or Ødegaard on the right. I'm dropping Ødegaard at the minute. I'm going to take, because I like Ødegaard. He's one of my favorites. I'm taking him away of the limelight for a little bit, because I think he can be a scapegoat at times. Ødegaard and Pepe are scapegoats. Interesting. Yeah, it's just different. It's a very different way, where I think because I don't believe that what Arteta is doing is progression. I think we're just I just think we're just stale. I think we just win a few, do okay, win a few, do okay, lose a few, do okay. Now, if he's a good coach, we should be doing better with these set of players. So I'm trying to mix it up and try and get balance. Not so much do I think that these are the best players. I'm just trying to get a balance and a way for us to get the best out of this team. I've just got the coaching hat on, the coaching one. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm doing a Pep against Chelsea Champions League final and I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm doing that. We forgot ESR came through as left wing, not a 10. He's definitely not a 10. El Neni, first on Arteta's team sheet. Free Martinelli. Martinelli plays. Pepe needs to play up top. What about Pepe and Laka up top and Martinelli on the right? I think it would work, but I don't think you can drop Aubameyang. He was actually pressed, worked hard the other night, got a goal. You know, you can't drop forwards. Number one rule is not really drop a forward once he's scored. Bad vibes. Bad vibes. Socials put, Weedy Marley's put, Pepe was top goal scorer, but Mbappe before him came to us, give him striker. Interesting. A lot of you are asking him to be, you know, straight down the middle. Interesting. How would you see this team formation when attacking, Fran? When attacking, like I say, when attacking, for me, Pepe, I was asking him to stay a little bit higher, and I was ask El Neni to do a little bit more covering in this area here, than if you can see that. And that's Tomiyasu. Now, the difference is they've got decent wingers. So I'm taking a risk here. I'm playing a game of cat and mouse, but that's a lot of the time how games are won. Who has less fear than the other to get forward? And the reason that ESR is on this side is because I believe he's a little bit more honest defensively. And when Pepe gets forward, if the ball's down this side, if the ball's down the right side of the pitch and Pepe's staying a little bit higher, I'm asking ESR just to drop maybe 5-10 yards deeper than he would do. He would do until Pepe retains the ball. Then I'm saying, bosh, get yourself in that box. He's got the energy. He's a young kid. He should be running all day. So a lot of work for him, but, you know, he's living his dream. So work shouldn't be a problem. That's my way. When it breaks down, if we're on the attack and it's transitional and it breaks down and they try and get down this area, I'm just going to ask El Neni, because he's defensive minded, just to look after this little bit here, or Partey, whoever ends up being on this side. And then these four can just, because it depends what kind of setup the Villa come with as well. This might not be doable, but this is not happening, people. This is never happening. That's just what I would have done to see how it worked, because we ain't getting any better. I think the team will be same. Only difference would be Gabby for Laka or ESR in the hole with Gabby on the left. Yeah, I do think Lacazette will be playing. Drop Laka. He is leaving anyway. I just think we might as well use him while he's here. He might as well use him while he's here. Try and get us up the league as much as possible, and then he's going to go anyway, you know. He's going to go. Abba got spider on his head. Yeah, he needs to. Normally, when you get past that 30-year-old people, we've got to slow it down a little bit. Pepe to play up front and give away the ball 22 times again. God, I mean, Pepe with his back towards goal could be horrific. That's my only problem with him playing up top. I read that we might be in for Calvert-Lewin, 70 million. Why not activate Ireland's 64 release clause and give him the wages? We couldn't deal with someone like Mino Raiola. For you who don't know in the chat, I've had the unfortunate privilege of dealing with Mino Raiola on an occasion, and you do not want to deal with him. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. Munzy's in the chat. He's put, yes, my man, how's you? I'm good after Peterborough obviously got their first away win last night, even though it was dire, apparently. But all what matters is results, people, when you are struggling at the bottom of the league for Peterborough, I can tell you that. What if we don't allow Pepe to do any defensive duty? That's my thinking behind this, Arda Guna. That is my thinking, because I'm on him. I am on Pepe so much because he doesn't do his defensive work. And people say to me, yeah, but Fran, that's not his game. That's not his game. I get that. But being coming through the English non-league scene and lower leagues, we don't have that excuse. We always have to run. But this is what I mean. You're thinking, what? Fran's giving Pepe. I'm giving Pepe another chance. And I'm saying in a 4-4-2, which is not going to happen, I would play him a little bit higher, or I'd give him that license, and I'd ask ESR just to come around a little bit, because he's got the energy to get up and down. And I say, right, listen, lads, when the ball goes in, use Partey, use El Neni, get ESR on the ball. When the ball goes into the front two, Pepe, get yourself in and around them. Get yourself in and around these two. Pepe, that's the license that I'm giving him. That's how it would work. Yeah, I seen Taylor's goal. It was a decent goal. Did you punch Mino? No, it was on the phone. It was a phone call. He wouldn't have been as rude in face, I could tell you that. Why El Neni? I guess the fans are now seeing why the manager starts Xhaka. The reason I'm playing El Neni, for me, if I was to play him, is because I'm playing a 2 in midfield and I need a little bit more of a security. And I know I'm going to get a little bit more out of him, you know, than other lads that play in there. Erdegaard's not built to play as a deep a 2, you know, and ESR, he's not intelligent enough at the moment, experienced enough to play that role. He just goes missing. Yeah, Haaland's not coming near Arsenal. I can tell you that, people. He's got the pick of the bunch. If Pepe isn't going to do any defensive work, then Laka can do it. He likes to drop deep to help. Even that interchanging could work. It could work, people. This could work. You know, you got to put your neck on the line at times. Buenos Aires has put, we got to slow us down after 30 minutes, Fran? Listen. 30 minutes, can you imagine? Listen, we need to be pressing. That's what I need to do. We need to be pressing. Wiedemardi has put Barca are broke. RM in for Mbappe. Chelsea got Lukaku. Liverpool got Salah. Who's going to stop us from paying the man? Listen, Barca are broke on the outside. They've still got peace. They'll still be getting players. They're trying to get Sterling, on mad money. So when teams say they're broke, trust me, they're not broke. They're not broke. The only time players don't really spend a lot of money is when they have a transfer embargo on them. Other than that, they spend money. They get money from sponsors. They get money from all over the place. How the two up top getting the ball with captain sideways at central mid can't have it. Can't have him, Fran. Listen, I'm looking for Partey to break the lines. Now, Partey does break the lines a lot. So I'm looking for that link. I'm looking Partey, and if ESR drifts in here and in here, to be the link for me. And I'm looking for Al Neni to be just a reassurance, reassurance. Oh, you meant after the age 30, slow down? No, mate. Listen, that's a myth. Got to get yourself moving, mate. Get yourself moving. By the way, 66 watching, 64 likes, 97% engagement. Really nice community. The community is unbelievable. Probably not for me. The community is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And big shout out to Curtis, because a lot of you are Curtis's community as well. And it's a great community. It really, really is. Fran, please tell me that. Please tell fans that we are being deluded by people saying we miss Xhaka. He contributed to only 66 minutes of winning football as a season so far. It's a strange one, because someone said to me, "Are we missing him?" You know what? I'm not sure. If it was to play, I don't think the results would be any different. But I do think we would look more solid, if you know what I mean. So results-wise, no. But would we look a little bit more solid? Maybe. That's the only thing. But looking more solid, is it going to get you any better results? Even the bots have given up. Listen, we got the bots out. The bots were giving us all kinds of likes. It looks like even the bots have lost their way. That changed from 30 dislikes to 6 last night, I heard, after it went down. So even the bots can't stop this juggernaut, mate. No chance. Salmon. Barca working on a real build of Nou Camp. They are in debt, and they are not broke to different things. Yeah, they're massively in debt, but they're not broke. You get away with all sorts in football and business, I can tell you that. All sorts. Fran, do you know if we can get Guendouzi back? I wish, people. I'm sorry, let me just have a little bit of this before it goes cold. I wish. Big. Apparently, they can buy him for 10 million. If that's true, I mean, this is ridiculous. Surely that's not true. Because if Arteta does go, the next manager is going to want Guendouzi. He's going to want Guendouzi, people. He's going to want winners, fighters, aggressive, passionate people in your face. He's going to want Guendouzi. So I hope that we can get him back. I really do. Fantastic, friend. Great stream as always. Yeah, big shout out to all of you. I love it. I love it, honestly. You gotta eat, Fran. Cold pesto pasta is the best anyway. Yeah, it was cold yesterday. I loved it. The Shades put, yes, Fran, obligation to buy is only 11 minutes. I mean, we've been done there, haven't we? We've been done. We have. Arteta can't handle Guendo or anyone with a bit of spice. Mikel almost better male trying to be. Yeah, he's definitely. Then he comes across a little bit narcissistic as well. Yeah, there's definitely a problem there. But listen, like I've always said, why is the manager and why I see progression, I will back this man. When I don't see progression, I will pull it up. And that's exactly what I'm doing at the moment. I'm an Arteta. I'm an Arteta, please do well for my football club person. That's what I am. And if that means that he's not doing well, then I'm going to pull him up on that. I really, really am going to pull him up on that. Let's have a look at a few more comments before we go. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game, people. I really, really am. We're just so bad at business, which is good. Pay to cancel the loan. I don't know if we can now. Can't we Guendouzi back before they buy him? pay a brown envelope fee. Yeah, they're not going to want to work with us now, I'll tell you that, if they've got that in the contract. Arsenal negotiations is the worst ever. I also believe that the people that are doing these negotiations, it's their first job. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, sorry. I believe that the people that are in these positions who are doing negotiations, it's also their first job. No wonder we're getting the pants pulled down left, right, and center. No wonder. When I was an agent, listen, I went in some meetings and I thought, oh, I've played, I know the game, I know what to say. It was like a completely different world. The language, the vocab, the mannerisms, the way you do business was completely different in the boardroom. Completely different. And I think you need experience, like in anything. You need experience in dealing with that to get the best deals. Who signed off Guendouzi for option for 10 million? You couldn't get, I don't think you would get, who would you get for 10 million? Realistically, I don't think you would get a 21-year-old French international for 10 million anyway, would you? I don't think you're getting any international for 10 million. Richard Garlick there. I'm sure he used to be at West Brom, didn't he? He's a man at West Brom. Is he? I thought he came in and he's gone. Is he still there, Richard Garlick? Wow. Yeah, he's worth 35, 40 mil. 100%. Al Neni, towards the end of his year, basic footballer, 10. In fact, I think Al Neni would go for 15, 16 mil. Honestly. I honestly do think that. Imagine a midfield of Ødegaard, Partey, and Guendouzi. Guendouzi, Partey, Ødegaard just in front. Guendouzi would be beasting everywhere. Oh, mate. It would work. It would work. I believe it would work. You can get a Jamaican international for cheap. Grant's put Richard Garlick just joined. He used to be at West Brom. Yeah. I've had to deal with Richard Garlick before. Forgot about him. Yeah, he's the one. It's fair. He's experienced. He does some good business at West Brom. Some good. Our agency used to work with him a lot, you know? Yeah. I've had some meetings with Richard Garlick before. A couple of the young lads at West Brom we was involved. We took one to Liverpool. Some deals for other ones. I'm very surprised that he's signed off these. But then again, if the manager's saying this, that, then he's got to go with the manager. Sleeper at the back as well. Ridiculous. Will you laugh if Newcastle signed Ozil in Jan? I can't see that happening. I can't. It would be funny though, wouldn't it? 72 likes, people. What a community. And people might say, well, that's only small likes. Nah, man. That's big. Every step in the right direction is progress, you know. Arteta destroyed his value by benching, then loaning him out, and his obvious attitude problems didn't help. Listen, this is what I always say. Players have attitudes. Most of them. They could have fell out with their wife. They could have fell out with a girlfriend. They could be gambling. They could have alcohol problems. They could miss their families. They could not like the manager. And then they've got anger behind that because they might come from the streets or they might come or something in their life happened to them when they were younger. As a boss, as a manager, you've got to manage that and channel it into talent. And you get the best of the best. You get the best. You get so much out of kids that you can just channel. Now, there is some, you got no chance. They want to go back on road. They want to roll with man who are strapped up and they like the gangster life. There is some ballers like that. I get that. But not many if they're shown love and they're shown the way. You got to show people the way. You know? Channel it. This is what frustrates me. Like Anelka had the same thing. So many footballers have the same thing. Channel it. It should be a business in football. It's not a bad idea to try and channel that. You know, it's not a bad idea. You might have to start a business up there. Channel it. The entire Arsenal board should go to court because of the brown envelopes. Sterling to Newcastle. I just can't see it, you know. I can't. Navera has put, Fran, it's alarming that Arteta hasn't lost the dressing room. It's like he's brainwashed the squad. You can see it with all these P words, process, project, etc. He's got a new word now. It's not, is it transitional or transition or something? Or transmit. He's got a new one. I think Garlick might have joined after Guendouzi went out. There was a guy from the Team GB that was in negotiations that he left and Garlick came in. I mean, come on. Because Garlick's got a very, very good reputation. Fran, Arteta isn't a man manager and you've hit the nail on the head there. I couldn't argue with that. And I don't think many people could argue with that one. People forget footballers are people. Everyone has their own baggage. It's how you manage guided. Yeah, and it's very, very hard on that football pitch. UK Drilly official has put 6 show broski. Found out about you from Curtis Show. Big up to yourself. First time I've seen you in here. I'm glad that you're part of the community, a great community as well. Very, very good community people. Arteta getting rid of the voices, only wants his voice in the dressing room. And I think it's very, very obvious for us to see that. It really, really is. Right then, people, I'm going to shoot off just under an hour. I hope you're having a great Thursday. You got Friday tomorrow. So like I say, remember, champions are made on a Friday. Make sure you do the right things. And let's try and help each other progress and keep progressing in life. So again, love you and leave you all. Let me stop sharing this. Let's put that bad boy on. Yep, love you and leave you all. Have a great evening. Make sure you look after yourself and your loved ones. And I'm sure tomorrow will be a very, very interesting evening. Very, very interesting. And I'll see you all tomorrow. You take care.